Is China's youth unemployment going off the rails? China's youth unemployment rate is soaring sky high. Is this the final nail in the coffin? Seems like it. Post-COVID China is hitting rock bottom. Who will pull China out of this sticky mess? Let's peel off the shiny wrapping. This is China Revealed. It's time to take a look at what went so horribly wrong. Setting new records. China is smashing new records, just not in the best way. Its economy is growing super slowly. Like an earthworm on meds, it is creeping. However, there is more bad news. Last quarter ended in June with its needle on the 0.8% growth mark. Not a very promising figure now, is it? While growth is low, people's hopes are skyrocketing. They are not expecting a miracle, but they are expecting the government to step up. Those in power need to drop some new strategies. The economy needs a lifeline, an IV drip. Heading over to the cityscape now. The rate of jobless youth soared to 21.3% in the country's cityscape. If only employment was high like the skyscrapers in Shanghai. Those between the ages of 16 and 24 are the most affected. They are struggling. Is China's recovery after the COVID era a pile of heresy? Not so, says the National Bureau of Statistics. The Bureau has given a thumbs up to the economy. Recovery is on track, or at least it has a good momentum. Figures are not quite as bad as they seem at first glance. Going back to the second quarter, hope is not going kaboom anytime soon. Weighing the numbers on an annual weighing scale, things have grown. The economy shot up by 6.3%. Sadly, it still fell short of the mark set by experts. Is China on the brink of disaster? The floodgates will open this year with 11.58 million college graduates pouring out in full force. Somehow the puzzle pieces don't fit together. These graduates will gush into a clogged economy, and this will become one massive repair job. The job market is a tricky terrain. For one, it has too many potholes. There is a huge gap. The graduates' area of expertise is a far cry from the existing jobs. They are a mismatch. Youth unemployment is a misty marshland, and sadly, it is sucking China deeper and deeper. The doctor's order for this ailing economy? It appears that there are no quick fixes. Youth unemployment is not simmering down anytime soon. It'll continue its steep climb, reaching the summit in August. So, which areas of the Chinese economy are floundering? Well, various factors are dragging its momentum. First things first, things are not looking optimistic for Chinese goods. Demand has plummeted worldwide. Chief economist at investment firm Vanguard is signaling red. Wang presents a disappointing picture. China is severely lagging behind on a number of fronts. Retail sales have taken a hit. Housing investment is also lying in a ditch. Flying at full mast are the flags of inflation. Trade and credit reports are also less than stellar. The result? A decidedly weak growth curve. The danger zone. Warning bells are ringing. Facts. What you just found out are urban unemployment figures. What about the rural areas? Are the rural youth having any better luck with jobs? The Chinese have tucked that factoid into utter darkness. There is no word on this from the government. Data from urban centers has been going around since 2018, and that is a huge red flag. What is an even bigger red flag is that the Chinese youth have a voice. This is not a silent minority. The BBC has the lowdown on this. Dan Wing is the chief economist at Hang Seng Bank in China. She raised the alarm on this pressing issue. At just 1.4% jobless, youngsters are a small slice of the economic pie, but they have clout. If you're wondering why, Dan Wing has the answer. This younger lot has a massive online presence. That is a major weapon they have in their hands, and they don't shy away from using their voice. As such, Wing spills that direct policy responses are the solution. That is what they demand. This entire situation is like a fireworks factory. The slightest neglect will send sparks flying. And we don't mean that in a hurrah kind of way. In fact, we mean that in quite the opposite. If things hit the boiling point, the youth's ranting might set off disaster, and that could result in people losing faith in the economy. It's on shaky footing as it is. Slim is the name of the game. Looks like China's about all things slim growth and slim prospects. Flip your digital calendars to April 2023. Zero in on the numbers from that particular month. China took the lid off some bleak data. Unemployment was breaking through the roof of a high-rise. 1 in 5 youngsters were jobless. That's right, 1 in 5. China's smashing some new records right there. And again, this is the same 16 to 24 age slot we're talking about. Those are frazzled youth grappling against the odds. It's not that economic indicators are not growing. It's more like they are sputtering and not shooting up. They need to meet targets. Post-COVID recovery seems to be dangling by a thin rope. Rewinding back to May, things were pretty dismal. Urban unemployment was probing the black hole at 5.2%. Meanwhile, youth unemployment was making a crash landing right into it. It was multiplying 4 times faster at 20.8%. Remove all the technical mumbo-jumbo. It simply means that the unemployment rate was consistent overall. But youth unemployment was a whole different story. It was multiplying like rabbits and cats and dogs. This should give you a reality check. Going back to the economic indicators, we're dishing out the dirt on China's exports in May. In said month, Shanghai was twiddling its thumbs. The bustling port is China's busiest. But May 2023 saw a shift in its fortunes. Export figures dropped down to a deep pit. The repercussions? Less trade and a ton of downtime. The port was doing more business in May 2022. And here's the twist. That's the time it had been in a lockdown for 2 months. The generation gap. President Xi Jinping has put on his cheerleader outfit. He's on the ground with his pom-poms already. The idea is to zap away the youth's sluggishness. Jinping is all about work, work, work. He's also about chomping on bitter fruit. Is he vegan? We don't know, but let us explain. Jinping is all about slogging to the finish line. Chinese history is big on putting up and shutting up. That is essentially what bitter fruit means. It means to keep going at it. Go, 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 even if it's hard. Even if you suffer, put in the toil and labor. Putting in long hours at work is a signature Chinese move, even if they are tired to the bone. Chinese ancestors did their nation a huge service. They worked day in and day out like Energizer bunnies. China prospered due to their supreme effort. It was the year 2021 and Jinping tried to bring this work ethic back. It was a celebration of a century of the Chinese Communist Party, 100 years and still going strong. Jinping pinned responsibility on Gen Z. They had to pump back life into the nation. In his words, they had to rejuvenate it. Did Jinping read the room right? Not quite, it seems. No one was in the room. Bitter fruit is not on the menu, at least not for the current youth. Jinping was speaking to the wrong crowd. They do not want to make a meal of their torment. Being a tough cookie. Chinese work culture is not for the faint-hearted. Let's pluck the example of tech. Think 12-hour shifts and 1 day off in a week. We are talking about the internet companies. They operate on a unique schedule. It's infamously known as 966 working culture. This is all about checking in at 9 a.m., and after that there's no checking out. You'll make it out of the office at 9 p.m. The whole routine will play on repeat for 6 whole days. But the younger lot are having none of it. Many have hopped off the career ladder to escape the grind. Manual labor's a better choice. Easier workload, it seems. The way unemployment is bubbling over the pot, young people want out. Enter the greenhorn. Fortune presented a unique scenario. Educated youth are being emotionally bashed. Workplaces have their doors shut tightly to them. Their degrees hold little value. They are like monopoly money. Employers are not too fond of the COVID generation. Their degrees lack the juice of a practical skill set and experience. Lockdowns were costly for this lot. And that is essentially what a greenhorn is. It's a candidate with a degree that is not backed by actual work. A Chinese professor, Zheng Dengdeng, put out the March unemployment rate as 46.5%. Things are not quite that bleak. The professor's article has disappeared now. Another storm's brewing on China's economic horizon. It's bye-bye factories. The factory of the world is fizzling out. Will China lose its 40-year-old title? China has a number of strikeouts in this area. 2018 did not bring forth a positive economic omen. China bore the brunt of President Trump's wrath. Trump pounded the U.S. economic fist on the country. COVID-19 and lockdown measures did the rest. The damage is done. The Chinese landscape is now a dangerous territory. Investing in the country carries a risk. Investors are going back to the drawing board. Is China a good investment choice anymore? Financial giants like Apple are on the move. The idea is to shift supply chains out of the People's Republic. China's manufacturing sector took a major dent. It's not just foreigners who are looking for an exit strategy. Chinese manufacturers have also jumped on the bandwagon. They want to cut down the risk. Chinese makers are eyeing foreign shores now. They also want to head for greener pastures. Parts of their logistics chains will also move. Apple has plonked the production of iPhones in India. iPad could be next. The chips are also falling for TSMC. The chip giant set foot in China in 2004. And while it is not making a giant move, it is looking to expand. And that means crossing the Chinese border. It's all set to branch out in Arizona. What prompted TSMC to take the leap? The tense global scenario might have something to do with it. Mazda's also moving car parts making operations out of China. All this ties in with the alarming unemployment situation. The Chinese government is not giving up anytime soon. It has a number of tools in its survival kit. Watch this space and tune into the next video. Until next time.